Hello everyone and welcome to Cooking with Granny number 3. Now this is going to be a strange one because we're not actually going to eat what we've cooked, and I have no idea how these are going to turn out or whether they're going to turn out. But what we're going to make is something that Amy made at the weekend. Amy made some stained glass biscuits. Now I'm not making biscuits. I have here some frozen short crust pastry which has been in the freezer for a long time. It's been in the freezer for so long that we're not allowed to eat it. So seeing as we're not going to eat it anyway, I thought it was a good idea to make it into some stained glass window decorations. And seeing as I've got my stained glass windows now, I thought this was a good idea and a good time to hang them up. But I'm really doing it in preparation for a very special kind of thing that's going on before Christmas, which I'll tell you about in a minute, because first I want to tell you what's happening. So I've got my pastry, I've got various little jars of jam here that I'm going to use. That's going to become hopefully the stained glass, and I've got my cutters to make the pattern when I've got the pastry cup. I've got my baking sheet here ready with my non-stick, what do you call it, and I'm just going to light my oven now. That's mark 6, which is what it needs. I've already floured my board. I'm going to flour my pastry a bit on my rolling pin, and I'm going to get rolling. And so this is the good thing about using frozen pastry, is that it's so easy. I was never any good at making pastry, and they always used to say that to make pastry you need to have cool hands. A good pastry cook has cool hands. The strange thing is I always used to have really cold hands, so theoretically I should have been good at pastry, but I wasn't. These days you don't really need cool hands or a cool day or a cool kitchen, because what people do these days is they put everything in the food mixer and then pop it in the fridge to cool, which is quite a good way to do it. Although of course to someone of my generation it does seem a little bit like cheating, but not cheating as much as using pastry just straight from the freezer that someone else has made. And I have to tell you, I don't think frozen pastry is necessarily any nicer than homemade, even when I've made it myself. But it's so long since I've made it, I can't really talk. So right, now I might possibly have rolled that a bit thin, because I'm forgetting that I'm not actually making a pie or anything with it. I'm just making my biscuits. Okay, that was quite quick and easy, wasn't it? So this time I'm going to use a square pastry cutter, because I'm still thinking of window shape. So I'm using a square flat-edged pastry cutter, and I'll just see how many I get from here. One thing I want to do, this is the thing I was going to tell you about, and I can't remember what it's called, but people are being encouraged to decorate their windows during Advent, in the run-up towards Christmas, and I thought this was an ideal time to show off my lovely new windows and put these hanging decorations in the windows. And the theme for this is hope, and we're thinking about the hope that comes with little baby Jesus, which is quite a nice thought. But I don't actually know how you would put that into a piece of stained glass. But Yvonne's clever idea was, because each of my bay windows has 4 little windows in it, 4 sections, that's just ideal to make the word hope. So I hope that I'm going to be able to spell out those letters with jam. Now then, this will be interesting, won't it? So I did do a little example on paper to draw around. So I'm going to make out the letters of hope, and I could do that twice, and make the other shapes with that. So I think that might be what I'll do. So here goes. So the thing is, obviously, you cut out the shape, the area where you're going to put the jam inside. And you see, this is going to be, I should have made that thicker. And then you, I'm going to count that one as a reject because I've done it a bit wrong. It's difficult to think of the proportions that you need when you've never actually done it before. Maybe I should have done this out in a bit of food colouring first just to check. But these are just practice anyway. Now, I've got the feeling I was saying something before. I was so rudely interrupted by myself. Oh yeah, the part that you're cutting out is the part that you put the jam in, and that makes the stained glass part. I've got an awful feeling I think all my jam's going to be the same colour, so they aren't going to be the most colourful stained glass windows, but nevertheless, if they work there, that would be good. So here, I don't know if you've been able to see what I was doing. I've done my attempt to cut out the H for the first letter of hope, so now I just have to be able to get that out. Maybe I need to just go around that a bit more sharply. I'm fairly pleased with that. Hasn't been too bad. And you know what I might just do is keep this piece of pastry as a template for if I'm doing another Huff a Hope on another one. You could make these into your own names, of course, if you wanted, or you could do what I'm going to do with the pastry that's left, which is making shapes on them. Just trying very carefully to do this. I won't make you watch this with every letter, but I think it might be good for you to see how well I perform at making the shapes of the letters to begin with, before I turn off the video. I can only get this out. This is a lot trickier than I thought, just getting the pastry out. And of course the other thing you don't know whether it's going to work is that when it cooks, is it going to all rise in the same way? Okay, so that's me. And that is my stencil for the H, which is going to be filled with jam when I get around to it. So I've got a H, I need an O. They're all reasonably easy letters to cut out, or so I hope. There's a lot of hope involved in making these biscuits. Well, they're not even biscuits. This is not going to be as easy as I thought. Actually, I'll just do it like this anyway. I was going to do it. I thought I could do it like this, but I can't, can I? Because how can I leave that? Well, I might try it. I might be able to leave that just clagged together with jam. Might work. I'm sure you're all sitting at home saying, Granny, can you not do it any better? Can you not do it any quicker? But I'm afraid I can't. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but I've got me. Oh, do you know, I might just bake these letters because they're quite good letters, aren't they? P, might have to think hard about this one as well, and bearing in mind that you can't actually guarantee that the middle is going to come out. Oh, that was not a good example. Leave that one for the moment. You see, these biscuits are bigger than I thought I needed for the letters. Having said that, I don't think that's going to be true for the E. She needs quite a lot of cutting. So my favourite letters for cutting this way would be the ones that I think work best as stencils are the H and the E, but the O and the P are a little bit more difficult because they've got a middle piece that you want to leave in, but I don't know if that's going to work. Oh, I've just realised I've left something in the oven. So I'm going to have to take that out. So I'm going to pause my video here. So I have got my letters. I hope you can see them. I haven't quite finished yet. Okay, I'm going to take this out so you can see that. And then I'm going to work a bit on the P, and we'll see how well I end up with my shapes, and we'll go on to the next stage. I'll just take this out. So if you want to do this at home, be prepared for a bit of fiddliness. Not quite sure how well that E's worked, but never mind. Okay, I'm going to leave you there for a little while till I turn the oven off and rescue what's inside before it burns, and finish off my letters, and then we'll come back and do a little bit more. Okay, bye bye for now. Okay, I've now cut out as many as I can without squishing your pastry up again. So I'm going to put these on the tray, and then we'll have some space to do the other ones. They haven't turned out too badly, and as we say, it's not until they come out that we see exactly how they've done. It did occur to me when I was doing this that if you guys have alphabet letter cutters, this would be so much easier to do, wouldn't it, if you could just use the cutters to do the letters. So if I'm going to do any more of these, I might just invest in a set of alphabet cutters, which would make the lettering much more easy to see. Now then, so, and as I say, I have no idea whether or not this is going to work. I tell you what, I'm not going to actually cook these yet. I've got a little bit more space on this tray. I can definitely make 2 words. Don't think I can get other shapes on, but I think I'll make me other 2, me other H at least. So that I'll have me 2 sets. And what I'm going to do is a little experiment. So one of them I'm going to sprinkle with sugar, which I would hope, like to think, would end up looking like little stars twinkling. It might work, or it might be just rubbish, so we'll see about that. If it kind of half works, what would be good, I think you can get like crystals that look like kind of diamond crystals, edible ones. I really don't actually need edible ones if you're not going to eat them. I suppose you could, if you wanted to, you could decorate them after they came out the oven, but I'm not sure how well ice would last in a window. I'm not sure that would work, but and I'm not sure, I think the sort of having the letters is the important thing. I might I might put some of the cut out letters on that baking board as well. So I'm just, well, I'll cut some more shapes out, but I'm only going to do the H, and then I'm going to get some of these in the oven, then we'll go on and have a little bit more fun with making just ordinary shapes. That'll be, I think, a bit easier. I can't remember quite how far I rolled it out. I want it to be about the same. Okay. Now where did I put? There it is. Couldn't find my window cutter there. And of course, if they are imperfect and uneven, well, that's just the charm of the handmade, isn't it? I would never do well on Bake Off when you've got to have 6 identical something or others. Here we go. That's my last hope. And we put some letters on here. Little milk. Excuse me. You may have to drain for a water break. I really like to get these in the oven first. So I'm just brushing with milk at the moment. Right, I'm definitely going to have to stop for a water break. Be back with you soon. Okay, I think I've soothed my tickly cough and I've finished brushing with milk. I'm now just going to sprinkle sugar, like I said, on some of them and not others. And again, I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to find out when we take them out the oven. I mean, right now that does look nice and twinkly, but I think once it's been in the oven, it'll probably just go brown. Okay, now this is the tricky part. Oh, and the tricky part wasn't meant to be trying to get the jars off the jam, because that would be super tricky. Oh, there's one that comes easily enough. For these, I'm using my Jesus spoon. I don't know if you can see that. These used to be very popular. They're called apostle spoons. So I guess you should have had 12 of them, but I think they came in test sets of 6 actually. And my mum used to have them. This is one of my mum's. And I have in a box in my drawer here a set that your dad's nana and granda had for a wedding present, and they were still in the box. Very rarely use them because they're quite precious. Okay, so this is spreading the jam. Now I know already instinctively that I'm spreading this too thickly, and I don't think you're going to be able to see through these, so I'll try in my next letters to be a little more. No, that wasn't meant to happen. Getting jam on your biscuity part. Okay. Yeah, and as I say, this would work better if you had different coloured jams. So obviously you can have, like, if you had, say, for example, a very dark, like blackcurrant jam, very red strawberry jam, lemon curd. I'm not sure if a lemon curd would work exactly, but a lime marmalade would work quite well for green. Orange marmalade, I'm not so sure, because orange marmalade isn't really very orangey, is it? But it's worth experimenting if anyone has different types of jam. These jams are all the same pretty much, so just going to be all the same colour pretty much. Now I'm not quite sure how well you can see what's happening here. I'll bring the camera over shortly so you can see them, and again I won't necessarily make you watch me fill in all these in because I'm sure it's going to get boring. Of course, this is the these are again the unknown parts, you know, is well, first of all, whether it's going to work at all, whether the jam is going to stick these middle bits in or not, and whether it's going to be thick enough, thin enough to be able to see, let the light shine through it, which I think is the point. And like I say, I'm awfully afraid it's not going to be. But the other thing is, well, that the jam won't burn, and that, because that would be a disaster if the jam burned, and hopefully that they'll come off, that the non-stick covering will definitely be non-stick, and they'll be able to come off the tray, because that would be another disaster if they didn't come off the tray. So there you go, just about, that's a bit okay, that's about it. I'll let you have a close look at that if I can manage it. Don't know how well you can see that, but the jam is in the top there. I'm going to go on and fill the others with the jam and pop them in the oven, and then we shall see what we shall see. See you later. Hi, so I finished those ones off that we were busy with before and put them in the oven, and I've made the other ones. I've rolled the pastry out again to make the other ones, so I'm going to do some of these. Excuse me, I left my radio on. I like a bit of company when I'm busy. So I'm making some different shape centres now. Oh, that means I have to look at my oven. Okay, I got those ones finished off and put in the oven, and while we're waiting for them to cook, I squished up my pastry leftovers, and I've cut out some more squares, and I'm making some more shapes inside. I've just got stars and hearts, They're the only ones I could kind of find that would be suitable. So again, I'm thinking, I'm not sure whether I'm going to use the shapes just as they are. I think I will, rather than scrunch them all up again. I've got two sizes of heart cutter. I've actually got several sizes, both of heart and star cutter. So I'm just going to do two of each of this size, and we'll see what we're left with. Oh, and do you know what I forgot on the last ones, which I've just realised? I forgot to put a little shape in to hang the shapes by. I wonder if the stuff inside is still soft enough for me to be able to do that without damage. May just have a try, but first I have to try and find a suitable implement for making a little hole with. Excuse me one moment. Okay, I just checked these ones, and the jam is, I daren't leave it in any longer because the jam will burn, although the pastry hasn't quite cooked. So perhaps rather than trying to put less jam in, I should have been putting more in. We'll have to wait until they're all dried and cooled and everything to find out whether they've worked or not, and that'll be some time. Just while this pastry is still soft, I'm doing my best to make a little hole in the top and see whether this will work when they're finished or not. And if I've done these all wrong, then perhaps we need a bit of help and advice from Amy. Maybe she can make a cooking video, and maybe we'll get it better from that one. These ones, I'm not quite sure if I can get the holes in these ones. We'll have a go. These ones I'll stick the holes in before I put them in the oven, which will be a better idea. And I will put these on a different baking tray because I'm going to have to leave those on there to set. And then we'll see how everything works out. I have to say, I'm not sure how confident I am that these are going to turn out the way I'd planned. But nevertheless, it's a good experiment, and I'm quite sure if you want to try this at home, I'm quite sure that they'd work out better. You might be a bit more prepared. So I'd love you to have a go at doing this or something similar, and you can let me know how you get on. That would be a good idea. I will switch off again very soon. I'll put these ones in the oven and I'll let you see how they all turn out in the end when they're cooked and cooled, and we'll see whether they work or not. Yeah, okay, see you soon. Okay, you now see the result of our labours, and these have come out of the oven. They've cooled outside the oven, then they've been in the fridge for a while just to make the jam in the things set well enough. And so because the jam is very sticky, and it occurred to me when I was having a bit of a trouble getting this jam to work, that the better way to do it, and the way I've heard of doing it in the past, I can't remember whether I've done it or not, is use boiled sweets and put a boiled sweet in, and that, the advantage of that would be that it would set much more easily. So you can see how even after being in the fridge for a while, some of these are very reluctant to come out. I have got another tray still in the fridge now cooling, So again, I'll try a little bit harder with these. I'll leave them. These ones I'm going to have in for a while. The others I'll leave in a bit longer. I might get to show you them later on or not. All of this waiting around takes a long time. What I will show you is the ones that I have done. You can, I don't know if you can, oops, sorry, hold on. You can see the light shine through them. I don't know what they'd be like looking at from outside. That on there, that doesn't look like there's much colour in it. There's more colour here, and they're a little bit motley and not particularly beautiful. So the sweetie idea would be worth trying if you're going to make these at home. I'll try and get the next ones out for you if I don't have to stay up all night for it, but it does kind of work. I can't hang them up in the window at the moment. Okay, these ones seem to be loosening off the paper more quickly, and I think the fact that they're on the baking parchment rather than the silicone seems to help with that. And the other thing is, I did put more jam in these ones. I put a much thicker layer of jam in these ones. So maybe that's something you'd like to think of if you're trying them for yourself. I'm just going to loosen these off because, as I say, they're working a bit better. And then I'm going to show you how they look against the light. And I think we're going to call it a day. If I get them hung up in my window, I'll let you see. Oops, I keep doing that, don't I? Okay, try again. So you can see through them. And I think they would look quite nice hanging at the window. I think, yeah, I think I need a few more practices before I get them exactly right, but that way it takes a very long time because you do have to cook them and wait for them to cool and then put them in the fridge, really, I think, to make them work well. But maybe you'll enjoy having a go. So here is the fruit of our labours for this evening's cookery with Granny. I will send you a photo if I can get a nice one when I hang them up. If you do any yourself, you could send me a photo or something. If you would like to get involved, I will try and put a link at the end of this video for the Advent Lights scheme, so you can find out a little bit more about it. As for another video, I was wondering how you guys feel, seeing as this is the time of year when normally we would be making our Christmas cake. Whether you would like to have a virtual Christmas cake making. I'm really not sure how that would work, how well that would work, but we could maybe have a go. So I would do the cooking and you could do the watching, and perhaps you could have the instructions and tell me what I'm supposed to be doing next and that kind of thing. Or perhaps you could make your cake alongside. Have a think and let me know. And until next time, this is Granny saying goodbye for now.